What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Military Miler. My name's Tusi, and today we're talking all about the fundamentals of credit card rewards, how to earn credit card points, and how to redeem them for awesome travel. But before we get started, be sure to hit the follow button, leave us a 5-star rating and a review wherever you're listening, and you can join our email newsletter at militarytravelrewards.com/subscribe so that you get the show notes right in your inbox every week, and you don't miss out on any of the big news, changes, and limited time offers in the points and miles world. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can shoot me an email at podcast@militarytravelrewards.com or message me on Instagram at Military Miler. And be sure to join the new Military Milers Facebook group where you can ask questions and get answers in real time. My wife and I just celebrated our anniversary with an awesome free night at Lake Como last week. So I posted all about that in the group, all about our incredible stay at the Grand Hotel Victoria Concept and Spa right there on the water at Lake Como here in Italy. And that stay would have cost us $1,900 a night. But we got to go for free using a Hilton free night certificate from my wife's Hilton Aspire credit card, which normally comes with a $550 annual fee, which we get waived because I'm in the military. And all military members, active duty military members, and their spouses get their annual fees waived on American Express personal credit cards. And if you've been listening for a while now, you'll know that I just finished the mini series on how to maximize your Amex Platinum. You can get over $1,500 in benefits and statement credits every year with your Platinum, which is why it's the number one credit card for military members and their spouses. And you and both you and your spouse can have your own Platinum cards, and you'll both get the $695 annual fee waived because you're active duty or the spouse of an active duty member. This also applies to guard and reservists on Title 10 orders. The Amex Platinum is a must-have card. And so if you haven't listened to the miniseries yet, then go back and listen to episodes 1 through 11. And once you've listened to them, go to militarytravelrewards.com/guide to download the PDF guide I put together as a comprehensive cheat sheet for how to maximize your Platinum credits. And it comes with a checklist as well to mark off all the benefits and credits as you use them. And if you use this checklist, then you are guaranteeing that you will get your $1,500 in benefits and credits every year. And you'll significantly improve the quality of your life with hotel elite status, car rental elite status, airport lounges, and so much more. Trust me, you need this in your life. Again, you can download that free Amex Platinum guide and checklist at militarytravelrewards.com/guide. All right, let's jump into today's episode. So the fundamentals of credit card rewards, kind of how this works, kind of from a 10,000 foot view. So the world of points and miles can be absolutely life-changing. I know it completely changed my life and my wife's life, because it allowed us to do things that we never would have dreamed of doing or dreamed of paying to do, for sure. But we need to understand that kind of before we jump into all the really cool stuff that you can do with points and miles, we need to understand that credit card companies are willing to give away hundreds of thousands of points and miles because they make a ton of money on interest and fees. The interest and fees quickly outweigh the benefits that you're receiving from your cards. So it is crucial that you pay your credit card bills in full every single month. You should not be paying interest on your credit cards. Do not carry a balance from month to month. If you cannot pay your bills in full every month, then I strongly recommend you do not sign up for new credit cards, and then you do not play the points and miles game, because really it is kind of a game. It took me a year to get my finances under control before I started playing the points and miles game because I was not financially disciplined. I was in college. I had a small stipend every month, and my stipend would last me about 3 weeks. And then the last week of every single month, I was putting everything on my card because I didn't have the money for it. And then the new month would roll around, and I'd pay my credit card off in full that first week. And then I would only have enough money to last me for the next 3 weeks. And then I'd be out of money again, and it would go right back on the card. So when I had opened that first card, it was a USAA cashback card. It took me almost 12 months to get myself under control because really it was just a matter of planning and habits. And I just did not have the discipline to not spend more than I made. And so it took about 12 months of, lots of spreadsheets trying to figure out how do I track my expenses in an efficient way? How do I get this under control? Finally, by the end of that year, my money was lasting me throughout the year or throughout the month. And it wasn't because I was making any more money, because I definitely was not, but it was because I changed my behaviors and my habits, and I was able to start making my money last the entire month. And once I got to that point, then I felt comfortable opening the bougie luxury premium credit cards. I had actually applied for an Amex Platinum twice because my friends were like, dude, you need to get this. Will they waive the fee for military members? And I was like, I don't even know anything about credit cards, but sure, give me your referral link and I'll sign up. And I got denied. And I was like, what the heck? And then like a week later, they were like, well, just do it again. So I applied, denied. And I was like, what the heck? And then a good buddy of mine named Jacob, shout out to you, Jacob. He told me, he's like, dude, you need a credit score before you can sign up for this card. This is like an ultra premium credit card. You need a credit score. I was like, I've never had a credit card. And he said, well, duh, you can get approved. You need a credit score. So anyway, finally, I opened this no fee cashback card from USA. It took me a year to get my finances under control. And then once I was no longer, putting money on the card beyond what I had in my account, then I was able to open my first kind of premium credit card. I actually opened the Chase Sapphire Reserve and then some Freedom cards, and then the ball just started rolling from there. So so if you cannot pay your credit cards off in full every single month, I do not recommend you play this game. Once you get to a point where you are paying off your credit cards in full every single month, then welcome to the world. This place is crazy. So points and miles, they are divided into kind of two parts, the world of points and miles, that is. You have your earning points and then your redeeming of points. So the way that we like to look at it is that we want to maximize the way that we earn our points and then maximize the way that we redeem our points. So on the earning point side, the fastest and most efficient way for you to earn points is through welcome offers on new credit cards. So most credit cards, when you sign up for the credit card, it'll say you're eligible for this welcome offer where we will give you a couple $100 in cash back, or we will give you 50, 100, 150,000 points or miles when you spend $3,000 in 3 months, or $4,000 in 3 months, or $6,000 in 6 months, or something like that. So you apply for the card, you get approved, you receive the card in the mail, and then you have about 3 months from the time you got approved for the card to meet that minimum spend. Yeah, sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 6, depends on the card. Then once you have hit that minimum spend on that card over that before that period of time is over, then you will receive a huge influx of points into your account. And then you get to use those points for whatever you want. Now, the next best way that you accrue points is through bonus categories on your cards. So depending on the card that you have, they will often have some category where you earn way more points. So for example, most cards, you'll earn 1 point for every dollar that you spend. So if you spend $100, you get 100 points for wherever it is. But then they'll have specific categories where you get even more points. So for example, the American Express Platinum card, you earn 1 point per dollar everywhere you spend, except when you purchase airline tickets with the card. When you purchase airline tickets, you get 5 points per dollar. So if you spend $1,000, you would normally get $1,000 at the grocery store or the commissary, whatever. You spend $1,000 on your platinum card, you'd only get 1,000 points. But if you spend $1,000 on plane tickets, then you would get 5,000 points, which is way, way better, obviously. And then another card, for example, the American Express Gold card. The Gold card earns 4 points per dollar at the grocery store, U.S. supermarkets, technically. So commissaries, those code is U.S. supermarkets. So commissaries around the world, regular grocery stores in the United States, you earn 4 points per dollar. And at restaurants worldwide, if they accept American Express, you will get 4 points per dollar as well, which is fantastic. So now you're earning 4 points per dollar instead of 1 point per dollar on your platinum card. But the great thing about the Amex Platinum and the Amex Gold is that all of your American Express membership rewards points pool into the same place. So if you have both a platinum and a gold, that means every time you go to the grocery store, every time you go to eat out, you use your gold card and you'll get 4 points per dollar. But then when you purchase airline tickets online, you use your platinum card, then you'd get 5 points per dollar. And if you want to take it one step further, if you opened the American Express green card, then you would also earn 3 points per dollar on travel everywhere. So if you were booking a rental car, if you were getting bus tickets, train tickets, parking, anything like that, then you'd get 3 points per dollar. And so now you kind of have like most of your bases covered. The majority of your expenses would be in bonus categories. And so that is a way for you to fast track the number of points that you earn just kind of based on your regular spending. And then the last way to really earn quickly earn a bunch of points is through referrals. One of them being the most important in this context is actually referring your spouse. And so if you have a two-player household, as we refer to it, kind of in the points and miles world, you refer to player one as the person who's like the most excited about the credit card game. Because typically in your average married couple that's in the points and miles world, one of them is one person is extremely nerdy and wants all the points and miles and everything. And then the other one is like, I just want all of the perks of doing that, but I don't really want to learn about how to do it all. So in our marriage, my wife is very much the willing participant and recipient of all of the wonderful blessings and perks of points and miles, but she doesn't want to do all the research on which cards to open, which cards to use, where, blah, blah, blah. She just wants me to tell her which card to open and where to use or which card to use wherever she goes. I, however, love this stuff. It is my favorite hobby, my absolute passion. That's why I started this podcast and website all about points and miles for military members, because I freaking love this stuff. And so in our household, you would say I am player one and my wife is player two. So in a two-player household, what you can do is player one signs up for a credit card. Let's say the Amex Platinum. Well, you use Chase card now. So let's say the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So I apply for a Chase Sapphire Reserve and I get the card and I have the card. And now my wife wants her own Chase Sapphire Reserve. The Reserve normally has a $550 annual fee, but Chase waives their annual fees for military members, for active duty military members and their spouses. So I don't have to pay the $550 annual fee, and neither does my wife. So what I can do is I can send my wife a referral link from my Chase card, for my Sapphire card. I can send it to her and then she'll open it and it'll give her the option to apply for the preferred or the reserve. She'll go ahead and apply for the reserve because it's a better card for military members than the preferred is. She'll go ahead and open it, and then I would receive 10,000 bonus points for having referred her. And then let's say she opens a Freedom card, and then she can refer me, and then I can open a Freedom card. And then, if I have an Amex Platinum, I can refer her. So she opens an Amex Platinum, and then she can refer me, and then I can open a Gold, or you just refer yourself, refer each other back and forth. And not to be clear, you do not refer yourself. You cannot generate a referral link and then apply for it under your own name. That's against the rules, and you would not get approved for the card. And there's a good chance they would shut your accounts down because of that. So don't do that. But if you are in a two-player household, you guys can refer each other back and forth for cards. You'll both get your annual fees waived, which is awesome. And you'll earn all of those bonus points as well. So that's kind of like the best, fastest, and easiest way for you to earn points in your household. And a lot of programs actually allow you to transfer your points back and forth to each other. There are a lot of particulars depending on the airline, the hotel, the credit card company, et cetera. But in a lot of ways, Chase, for example, like I can send my points to my wife, or she can send her points to me, so we can pool them all together, which makes that pretty easy for us to, for our house to use all of these points. Now, the other side of points and miles is the redemption of points. So you want to earn points in the best, most efficient way possible. Number one being welcome offers on new cards. But then redeeming points, you kind of want to learn the best ways to redeem points, because there are some fantastic ways to redeem points and then some not so good ways to redeem points. The way I see it is, if you redeem your points for anything, that's a positive thing. And especially in the military, when you don't have to pay the annual fees, kind of everything you do is you're in the green already. If you had to pay annual fees, then there are ways to use your points where you'd really actually be losing money because you had to pay the fee. But since we don't have to pay our annual fees for consumer cards, then we're kind of always in the positive. So I would say I'm probably a little bit more on the lenient side of, you using your points in a less efficient way. But the most efficient way for you to use your points is to use transferable points. Primarily, so Chase points, Chase Ultimate Rewards points, American Express membership rewards points, or just Amex points. Citi has Citi Thank You points. Capital One has Capital One points, or miles, however, depending on the card. Those are all points that you can use. And then you can, so you earn those points in the bank's currency. So Chase Ultimate Rewards points, for example, and then you can transfer those to a series of transfer partners. So one of Chase's best transfer partners, for example, is Hyatt, Hyatt Hotels. And so you can transfer 1,000 Chase points to Hyatt, and you'd get 1,000 Hyatt points. Now your points are sitting in Hyatt, and then you can go into Hyatt's website or your Hyatt account, and you could use those 1,000 points to then go and book a hotel room. So, for example, if you have so when my wife and I got married, we did not take a honeymoon. We got married in Colorado. I was living in California at the time because that's where I was stationed. I flew to Colorado. We got married. We packed up a U-Haul, and then we drove back to California. we were gone for like a total of like 4 or 5 days. So because we didn't have a kind of a honeymoon planned, what we did was we decided to just get a hotel there in Colorado, and there was a Hyatt Place out there. The Hyatt Place normally would have cost $130 to $150 a night, but it was a Category 1 Hyatt hotel, which means it only cost 5,000 points a night to stay there. So what I did was I took points from my Chase Sapphire Reserve that I had earned. I transferred 5,000 points. I think we stayed, we'll say 3 nights. So I transferred 15,000 Chase points to Hyatt. So I had 15,000 Hyatt points. And then I booked 3 nights at this Hyatt Place, not a super luxury hotel or anything, just kind of like a standard, run of the mill average Hyatt Place that you find in any city. So 15,000 points got us 3 nights at this Hyatt. Now that Hyatt cost we'll call it $150 a night. So that meant that Hyatt stay would have cost us $450 to stay there, but we were able to do that on just 15,000 points, which is awesome. Now, 15,000 points, what is that really worth? It totally depends on what currency, what points world you're living in, but 15,000 points in the world of Chase, depending on the card that you have, if you have like a no annual fee Freedom card, one of their kind of lower tier cards, 15,000 points would only be worth about $150. So actually, it would be literally exactly $150 if you cashed them out. So we got 3 times as much, or 3 times the value, by transferring them to Hyatt and then using them at a stay. So there, that would be a fantastic way to redeem those points. Some not so fantastic ways to redeem points are to use them as statement credits to just like pay off your credit card bill. Now, I mean, that's awesome. If you just need to pay off your bill, you need to pay off your bill. It's not the end of the world. But often the redemption that you're getting on those points is nowhere near as good. So in the same example, 15,000 points. Transferred to Hyatt, that's worth $450 or more sometimes. But if you just cashed it out on a Freedom card, for example, a Chase Freedom card, that's only worth 150 points. And depending on which bank it is, American Express or Chase or Citi, whatever, 15,000 points, if you tried to use that to pay off your statement credit, you'd probably get the $150 and nothing else. And depending on the bank or your currency, sometimes you're going to get less than that, like maybe $100. Now there are some cards that let you pay back or pay off your statement credit using your points at a little bit better redemption. So if you have the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Reserve, you're going to get 1.25 or 1.5 cents per point. But long story short, it's usually not the best way to use your points, but not a terrible way. Just usually not the best way. Now some very not so good redemptions are usually when you so American Express, that's a great example. So American Express, you can use your points to pay off your statement credit, but you're going to get 60% of that value. So for example, 10,000 American Express points you could use to transfer to a number of partners, Hilton, Delta, Marriott, etc. But that 10,000 points in most cases is going to be worth at least $100, if not $150 or $200. But if you use it to pay off your statement credit or your statement there in your account, it'll actually show you on the right hand side of your Amex page. It'll say 10,000 points. You can redeem 10,000 points for $60 of credit. So that's like 60% of kind of a standard redemption would be 1 cent per point, or 10,000 points would be $100. So you're getting like 60% of the value, which is definitely not as good. And then also, if you're redeeming your points for gift cards, usually you'll get like 0.75% per point, 0.6 cents per point. I mean, you're not getting great redemption. You're getting like 60%, maybe 70% of what you could be doing just by cashing out for straight cash. Or, I mean, you could be getting like 30 or 40% of what you could be doing if you're transferring your points out. So all that to say, the best way for you to redeem your points most of the time is to transfer your points out to another partner and then use that partner's program to then book a bunch of stuff. Of course, if you have a Hilton credit card or something, you're earning Hilton points. So then, of course, all you can do is use them at Hilton. So there's definitely lots of different ways to maximize all those different points. But generally speaking, in the points and miles world, those transferable currencies are the most valuable ones. So the kind of cards that you'd be looking at are like the American Express Platinum or Gold or Green card, the Chase Freedom, Freedom Unlimited, Freedom Flex, the Sapphire Reserve, Sapphire Preferred. Those are the cards you're kind of looking at, generally speaking. Credit cards also come with elite status and perks as well. They kind of make your points seem just that much better. So, for example, a lot of hotel credit cards come with hotel elite status, and elite status usually gives you other free amenities, things like free room upgrades or free breakfast for two, or sometimes they'll give you late checkout or early check-in or free parking. Totally depends on what credit card you have, but they can come with elite status, which is awesome. Some credit cards also come with free night certificates, and so a free night certificate is usually has a value in terms of the number of points that it's worth. Sometimes they're uncapped. Like Hilton's free night certificates, there is an unlimited amount of value. So it doesn't matter how much the hotel would have cost, you can use that to book certain room types for free, entirely for free. Like at Lake Como, we used a Hilton free night certificate, and even though the hotel would have cost $1,800 to stay that night, it didn't matter. We had our free night certificate, we were able to use it, and we got the stay for free, which is awesome. Then, depending on what credit card you have, airline credit cards will often come with elite status as well, giving you seat upgrades, sometimes lounge access, airport lounge access. Sometimes they will give you a companion pass ticket. So you buy a ticket and they let you bring a companion for free. They can also give you sometimes credits towards in-flight amenities like refreshments or Wi-Fi. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That comes with the airline cards. So there's some cool elite status and perks that come with credit cards. Credit cards can also come with statement credits or benefits as well. So for example, you could get Uber credits or Uber Cash. You can get DoorDash credits or Instacart credits or Global Entry or Clear or TSA PreCheck for free. You can get hotel credits, like just cash that you can use at hotels. You can get streaming services reimbursed. You can get just straight travel credits where, if something codes for travel, like a rental car or hotel or whatever, you just automatically get credited against that. Lots of really cool credits and perks that come with credit cards. And so the awesome benefits of being in the military is that you actually don't have to be super optimized to be winning in the world of credit cards. When it comes to a lot of the premium and luxury credit cards, your average person has to be, pretty with it, pretty plugged in order to make sure that you're making good use of your cards. Like the Amex Platinum, it has a $695 annual fee. That's $700. Like that's insane. That means you have to make sure that you are getting more than $700 worth of credits and benefits and stuff to make it worth paying the $695 annual fee, which like that can be a lot of work depending on the card. But if you're in the military, you don't even have to try that hard because you didn't have to pay the annual fee anyway. So there's like zero negative to having the card. You just have the card and now you just get to use the perks. And if you don't use all the perks, it doesn't matter. Like you're already winning. So awesome. So, and if you're in the military, because you don't have to pay for the annual fee, there are a lot of cards that it can be worth having more than one of. So for example, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, fantastic card, has $550 annual fee normally. That's ridiculous. And that card comes with airport lounge access through Priority Pass, and it comes with a $300 travel credit that you get every year. And that's just the first $300 that you spend that codes as something for travel, like rental cars, trains, buses, hotels, flights, etc. The first $300 you spend automatically gets reimbursed to your card. That's awesome. And it comes with the ability to transfer your Chase points out to partners like Hyatt or Marriott or a number of airlines, like Southwest. There, I was just drawing a blank. So the Chase Sapphire Reserve, great card to have. However, if you're not in the military, it doesn't really make sense to have more than one of them because there's only one of you, so you can't use two different airport lounge access accounts. You only need one of them to get into the lounge. And it doesn't really do that much good to have two cards that let you transfer points out to a partner. You only need one of them. So there's no extra added benefit to having two of them. However, the perk that does double on your Chase Sapphire Reserve is that $300 travel credit. So if you had two Chase Sapphire Reserves, each one would get a $300 travel credit, which means you would get $600 in travel credit. If you had three Chase Sapphire Reserves, then you could have $900 in annual travel credits. And that's every single year. If you have a spouse and they have a Chase Sapphire Reserve, now they're getting their $300 travel credit plus their airport lounge access for themselves. And then if they had two reserves, now you're looking at $600 for them. Plus, if you had three, then $900 for you. And if you're crazy like me and my wife, we each have three Chase Sapphire Reserves. So that's between the two of us. We're each getting $900 in travel credits every year. And because there's both of us, we're getting $1,800 together in annual travel. $1,800, like depending on how much you make in the military. I mean, that could be a 10 or 20% increase in your annual, or like in your income. I guess not that much based on over the course of the year, but I mean, you get what I'm saying. I mean, that's almost $2,000. Like that's insane. Like that's so much money. And that could really make a difference. Like $300, like that's a great plane ticket. And so if you have more than one, like that's a couple of plane tickets or hotel nights or whatever. I mean, that's just money you're getting right back in your pocket. And it doesn't cost you anything. But if you're not in the military, it's not going to make sense for you to do something like that. So there are some really awesome hacks, and I'm, one of my, passions is really trying to figure out all the different ways to maximize and optimize all these different things to kind of push the envelope to see what is possible specifically for military members, because there aren't really that many people out there doing that. So that's what I really enjoy doing that's what I really enjoy in doing in playing this game and this being my hobby. So that's kind of really the overall world of points and miles. You do your best to earn points in an efficient manner, and then you try to redeem your points in the best way possible. And then also the cards that you open in the process, trying to pick cards that come with elite status, perks, credits, benefits, etc., that level up the game. That improve the quality of your life. There are so many different cool things that you can do with points and miles, and like my passion is trying to help people see the stuff that they could do, so that we're not the only ones getting a $1,900 stay at Lake Como, that we're not the only ones getting a $3,000 vacation to Greece for free. Like we want everyone to do that, especially military members, man. Like it can be tough. It can be a total meat grinder. And so if we can help you optimize and maximize the leave that you get to take with your family, like absolutely 100% want to help. So if you are interested in learning more, stay tuned. And if you haven't listened to the first 11 episodes, go back and listen, especially on the Amex Platinum series, because the Amex Platinum is the #1 credit card for military members and their spouses, because it comes with so many benefits. And we're just getting started. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on the Military Miler today. If you have other questions or topics, specific cards or specific programs you'd like to talk about, you'd like to learn about, shoot me an email at podcast@militarytravelrewards.com, or just throw it in the Military Milers Facebook group. Just put in there, hey, I want to hear this talked about on the next episode, and I will happily record an episode on it. Or if you just reach out to me, then I can just message you right back immediately, and then probably still do an episode on it just to share with everybody. But yeah, so you can email me at podcast@militarytravelrewards.com. Find me on Instagram at Military Miler, or join the Military Milers Facebook group. And again, if you and your spouse don't already have your own Amex Platinum or Amex Gold, which are the #1 and #2 credit cards for military members and their spouses, be sure to go to our website, militarytravelrewards.com. You can sign up for them there. You just go to the top of the best credit card offers, and then, the top five credit cards for military members. In the top 5, you got the Platinum, the Gold, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I think the Freedom Flex, or the Freedom Unlimited. And I'm blanking on the 5th card. But anyway, we've got tons of different categories: hotel cards, airline cards, business cards, all sorts of stuff. So if you're looking at signing up for a new credit card, I really appreciate you supporting the show, keeping this content free, because this is my passion. I love doing this. So thanks, everybody, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.